Morning, everybody. Adjust this out of the way here. Well, another fine, beautiful late November morning on Vancouver Island here in British Columbia, Canada. I have a very, very special rifle I thought I would share. This particular rifle here has some, I don't know, provenance to it, I guess, or something like that. That's what I'll call it anyway. It's a 1949 Bruno Model 3. What makes this one a little bit different is this is one of the first ones made. You hear conflicting reports, but the first ones made had fancy checkered walnut stock and had a very unusual, I'll call it a nipple crown or an Audi crown, but it's kind of like a recessed target crown, but reversed. They only made these, I've read reports 1,000 to 1,500, something like that. And then they switched to more the beach, uncheckered plain beach and recessed target crown, similar to a Bruno Model 4. These were made up until 1956, I believe, and then the Bruno 4 took over. There are way more Bruno 4s than 3s, and this is a very, very scarce model. Serial number is 703. When I got this rifle, it had some issues. It had a pretty large, I'll call it a chunk because that's what it was, out of the stock at the back here, which I've repaired, and as a result refinished it. But there was, somebody had engraved numbers with a ballpoint pen in the fore end of the rifle. The stock condition was terrible, so I wasn't hurting its value. It was already damaged, and I wanted to preserve this rifle because it's like a survivor rifle to me. I'm a Bruno CZ fan. I've had all of them, so this one is pretty special. Didn't come with the sights, but I actually have a set of sights that will fit from a Bruno 4, which are the same. Right now I have a custom-made 25 MOA Picatinny style base on it, and I just have a Bushnell scope on top. It has the typical, it shares the typical, I mentioned in one of my other videos, the Winchester 75 kind of barrel harmonics tuning device. This one has one underneath, same as a Bruno Model 4, for those who are used to that, and it functions the same way. I find that this rifle, like all Brunos, is just brilliantly made. The attention to detail, the quality of the action is just superb. This one has the adjustable early trigger that some of the Bruno Model 1s have. It is adjustable, but not nearly as fine as you could with, let's say, a trigger kit, get a Bruno 4 or a CZ452, which is the same. 2 in the ounces. It's on the heavier side, and the same as a Winchester Model 75, like I reviewed before. It's kind of its main downside is this trigger. If this trigger, where in the 40s this was a superb trigger, and could compete with most or all target rifles of the time, I would say. Nowadays, or if you're used to a match rifle, this trigger is definitely not up there. It's crisp, it's predictable, it's adjustable. One thing I like about Bruno triggers and Brunos in general is that there's no slop in the trigger like on a Winchester 75. Like there's no side-to-side movement. It's just brilliantly made. These stocks are pillar bedded from the factory, and they have brass pillars inside. The inletting is beautiful on it. The checkering is beautiful on it. And it shares the same wing style safety as Brunos and CZs do up until the latest generation. So in that regard, you look at it and it pretty much looks like a CZ, I guess, because that's pretty much what it is, or the opposite. It shoots everything standard velocity well. I'm shooting some SK flat nose basic and standard plus in it. It doesn't seem to like one over the other. It performs pretty well. The barrel harmonic device on this particular model seems to like a very tight setting, or very heavy, almost all the way in, whereas my Bruno 4 always preferred just like quarter turn in. So You can literally see a point of impact shift of 3/4 inch, sometimes inch, by tightening that screw a full rotation. It's quite dramatic sometimes, and then other times not. So it definitely is worth some time, and it takes a lot of time to play with it and get it set right. This one I'm still kind of playing around with. But I'll take a couple shots and I'll show you the action on how it works. Again, I got some spinners down at 50, and see how many we can hit. I'm going to try a smaller one. No problem. There we go. Not an issue. This rifle came to me without a magazine, as it was probably a surplus gun from somewhere. So I have a Bruno original steel magazine for it. And you know, the plastic ones work as well, and I actually have a few Norinco JW15 mags that also operate, being Bruno clones, operate fine in them too. They don't fit as well as the Bruno mags or the CZ mags, but it does function and feed most of the time without issues. This rifle, I'll just show you a little bit of it. Flip it around here. You can see the repair that I made right there. I didn't try to hide it. I just wanted to repair it structurally, and it is bedded in the tang area. But the stock is a beautiful walnut stock with really nice grain. Give you a shot of the checkering. There's the rail. Flip it around again. And you can kind of see how superb that checkering is. It wraps all the way around. And there's a shot of the barrel channel a little bit. Heavy barrel on this rifle, and it's a really nice bench gun, other than it was designed for aperture sights, and this one is running a scope with a rail on it, so the comb is very low, and so because it was meant for the apertures, which are, you know, just slightly above barrel level or receiver level. So your cheek, my face is nice and chubby, so I do all right, but you're definitely, it would benefit from a cheek riser. I kind of make it work because this rifle just means so much to me as a Bruno fan, being a kind of a first gen Model 3 that you will very rarely see. You don't see a lot of 3s anyway, and to see, or to own one of these rather, is pretty neat. It's a shame that it was cracked, but like, this sort of thing doesn't really bother me, because I kind of look at it like it's a survivor rifle, being quite rare, being the first one, so it just kind of adds to its charm to me, if you know what I mean. I will show you as best I can that crown. You can kind of see there how it's kind of an Audi crown. I know it's kind of hard to do one-handed, but there you go. It's kind of nice to see. I can see why that wasn't something they continued, you know, being club gun or competition gun. You're not careful with it, it's easy to damage it. It is recessed, but it's like an Audi recessed. I don't know. It's definitely not something that I would choose. And I'll just get this bipod off for you real quick, and you can kind of see the harmonic tuning device on it. Sorry for the crappy picture, but you can see it right there, and basically it just behind the swivel stud that I have installed, you can see it right there. And so that screw you tighten in, and it pulls the barrel down into the barrel channel, and it's supposed to improve harmonics. I don't know how much it improves harmonics, but it most certainly changes point of impact, and still playing around with it, but you can definitely dial in the ammo. It takes quite a bit of patience to do so, and you know, still working on it for sure. It's a fun gun to play with. While I have it down here, I see a couple of shots of the serial number on the fore end, bottom metal. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'm going to continue shooting this beauty.